The Galactic Council chamber fell silent as Ambassador Anna Chen stepped forward, her boots clicking against the crystalline floor. Around her, representatives from 47 species watched with barely concealed anxiety. The holographic display behind her flickered, showing footage that had been recovered from the Krell invasion fleet, or rather, what remained of it. "Honored council members," Anna began, her voice steady despite the weight of 1,000 eyes upon her. "You summoned us here to explain what happened at the Viridian colony. You wanted to know how a single human outpost repelled a force that outnumbered them 300 to 1. Council Prime Thexelar, a towering Vraxian whose species had ruled the spaceways for millennia, leaned forward. His translator device hummed. "Ambassador Chen, the Krell Armada was equipped with weapons that could level continents. Their soldiers are bred for war, genetically enhanced for combat. Your colony had, according to our intelligence, fewer than 2,000 human military personnel. Please help us understand." Anna allowed herself a small smile. "That's the misunderstanding right there, Council Prime. Those 2,000 weren't military personnel. They were civilian colonists, farmers, engineers, teachers. The military personnel numbered exactly 47. A ripple of disbelief spread through the chamber. The insectoid Chithar representative clicked her mandibles in what could only be interpreted as skepticism. 47? Thexler's voice rose an octave. "You expect us to believe that 47 soldiers defeated the Krell's finest warriors?" "No," Anna replied calmly. "I expect you to understand that those 47 weren't ordinary soldiers. Humans call them special forces." She gestured to the holographic display. The footage began to play. In the darkness of Viridian's forests, thermal signatures bloomed and died like fireflies. Krell troops, each one a 2-meter-tall killing machine, fell in coordinated patterns that seemed almost choreographed. The council members watched in growing horror as entire battalions were neutralized by enemies they never saw. "What manner of technology is this?" demanded the Chithar representative. "What weapons give such advantage?" "The weapons are standard issue," Anna said. "Nothing your own forces don't possess. What you're witnessing isn't superior technology. It's superior training, tactics, and something we humans value above all else: adaptability." The video shifted to show a human emerging from the shadows. His face was painted in irregular patterns, his movements fluid and precise. In his hands he carried a weapon that looked primitive compared to the plasma cannons the Krell wielded. Yet as the council watched, this single human orchestrated an ambush that eliminated 23 Krell soldiers in under 90 seconds. "That," Anna said, pointing to the figure, "is Sergeant Leo Morrison, 28 years old. Before joining Special Forces, he was a ranch hand from Texas. The Krell probably thought they were hunting him. They were wrong." Thexlar's 3 eyes narrowed. "We've seen your regular military, Ambassador. They're formidable enough. Your standard soldiers have already proven themselves in border skirmishes. Why would you need something more?" Anna's expression grew serious. "Because, Council Prime, the universe is vast and unpredictable. Our regular military handles conventional warfare admirably. But when conventional tactics fail, when the situation demands the impossible, when we need soldiers who can think like scientists, fight like demons, and endure like machines, that's when we send Special Forces." She pulled up another file. "Do you know what Leo and his team went through to earn that designation? 3 years of training that breaks most candidates. They learn to survive in any environment: Arctic, desert, ocean, vacuum. They master every weapon system known to humanity, and most known to alien species. They study psychology, languages, engineering, medicine. They become experts in demolitions, reconnaissance, assassination, and extraction." The Chithar representative's antennae twitched nervously. "This seems excessive for mere soldiers." "That's because they're not mere soldiers," Anna countered. "They're force multipliers. Each one is trained to operate independently behind enemy lines for months if necessary. They can train resistance fighters, sabotage infrastructure, gather intelligence, or eliminate high-value targets. At Viridian, those 47 operators turned a civilian colony into an unbreachable fortress in 72 hours. The hologram showed new footage, humans teaching colonists to set traps, to fight to disappear into the terrain. Leo appeared again, this time directing a group of teenage colonists in constructing improvised explosive devices from mining equipment. "They weaponized everything," Anna continued. Agricultural drones became surveillance platforms. Water purification systems became chemical weapons. The Krell walked into a colony of farmers and found themselves in a death trap, designed by the finest unconventional warfare specialists humanity could produce. Thexelar was quiet for a long moment. When he spoke, his voice carried a note of something that might have been fear. Ambassador Chen, your regular military already makes most council species uncomfortable. Your infantry charges into situations where we would use drones. Your pilots volunteer for missions we consider suicidal. Your medics refuse to leave wounded comrades even under heavy fire. This is known. This is why many species fear humanity's common army. He gestured at the hologram, where Leo was now visible rappelling down a cliff face in zero visibility conditions, pursued by Krell hunters who were somehow always 3 steps behind him. But this is something else entirely. If your common soldiers are already feared across the galaxy, what does that make these special forces? What do we call warriors who are elite even among humans? Anna met his gaze unflinchingly. You call them what they are, Council Prime. The last thing any enemy wants to encounter. The Krell learned that lesson at Viridian. They came expecting to fight farmers and found themselves hunted by ghosts, who knew every trick of asymmetric warfare. Humans have developed over 10,000 years of almost continuous conflict. She advanced the hologram to the final image. The Krell, Commander's flagship, crippled and drifting. Leo and 3 other operators infiltrated that vessel, sabotaged its power core, and extracted themselves before it exploded. They did it in hostile zero-gravity conditions, through a ship filled with enemy soldiers using equipment they captured along the way. The council chamber was utterly silent. You asked me to explain what happened at Viridian, Anna said softly. Here's the simple truth. Humanity's regular military is trained to win wars. Our special forces are trained to make war itself irrelevant. They turn asymmetry into art. They transform impossible odds into certainty. And they do it all while adhering to strict ethical guidelines that many species would consider handicaps. Thexelar sagged in his seat. And how many of these special forces does humanity possess? Anna smiled enigmatically. That's classified, Council Prime. But I can tell you this, there are enough. Enough that no species should ever want to find out what happens when they're deployed in force. The Krell sent an armada against 47. Imagine what 1,000 could accomplish. Or 10,000. She let that sink in before continuing. Humanity seeks peace, Honored Council. We value life, cherish cooperation, and believe in the potential for unity among all sentient species. Our special forces exist not as a threat to the Council, but as a guarantee that humanity will never again be helpless against aggression. But understand this. The galaxy has seen what our common army can do. They've witnessed our regular infantry hold lines that shouldn't be holdable. Our pilots perform maneuvers that defy physics. Our Marines storm positions that should be impregnable. All of that is true. Anna's eyes swept across the chamber, meeting the gaze of each representative in turn. But what you saw at Viridian, that was special forces. That was the edge of humanity's sword, the tip of the spear, the operators we send when failure isn't an option. And if the galaxy already fears our common army, then perhaps it's wise to ensure that our special forces never need to demonstrate their full capabilities on a galactic scale. The hologram behind her froze on an image of Leo, emerging from the Viridian forests with his team, alive and victorious against odds that should have been insurmountable. Are there any other questions, Council Prime? Thexelar shook his head slowly, his expression unreadable. No, Ambassador Chen, I believe you've explained quite enough. As Anna left the chamber, she allowed herself a genuine smile. The message had been delivered. Humanity's place in the galaxy was secure, not through aggression, but through the certainty that any species thinking of threatening humanity would have to account for warriors like Leo Morrison. Warriors who called themselves simply special forces, but whom the galaxy would learn to call something else entirely. Unbeatable.